back again. You guys aren't going to believe this, but this little microphone that I was just talking about in one of the previous episodes, I have it plugged in directly to my phone, not the new one. I have like the 13, and I just have that little like camera adapter. I was thinking there's no way in hell that this microphone is going to work plugged directly into my phone with no power, because you can plug this into the wall also to give it power. But I guess I don't need power. This thing just works. So I was shocked. So my friends came into town, like Thursday, I guess maybe. Thursday through Monday. I think I did record Thursday, so I think Friday through Monday I did not record. And, I was doing this as a 30-day challenge, and I guess I failed. However, guess what? I'm recording on a video now. So I haven't really failed, because the failure has been me not recording and then just not recording ever again. Like if I break the momentum, then I just don't record ever again. And that is not happening, I guess. I'm recording now, so that's good enough. So I don't know. I was just going to throw this video up, try out this new microphone, because I have not even really tried it yet. I don't know. I'm not going to use this microphone for every video at all. I may never use it again on my phone, but I just wanted to do it tonight to try to see if it did work, and it does. So I had a conversation. Let me think about something. So one of my friends, Steve, is out here right now. He's helping us work on our house, and that's pretty cool, because there's a lot of things that we've been wanting to do for, at least a couple years, and I just think about them, and I don't actually do them. But Steve, he's pretty handy. He's got some skills, and he recently quit his job, I don't know how long ago now, but so he's just been like picking up odd jobs and kind of driving around the country, just driving around and picking things up as he goes and door dashing and whatever. So I'm pretty excited about that. Well, he got some availability. He was working at another place that's about 2 hours away from here at another friend's house that needs some stuff done. He got some time off from that, and now he came out here and is helping us. So that's pretty cool. But we were talking about something earlier, and I can't freaking remember what it was. Like I feel like I always have an answer for people all the time. Like whatever it is that they want in their life, or like whatever's best for them currently in their current situation, I feel like I always have some kind of best case scenario for them situation where if they would just listen to me, then they could be wildly successful. And I know that's unrealistic, and they have to learn things on their own time. And, now that I'm this age, I really understand the adults when, a lot of people have this experience where they have adults around them that are like, don't make the same mistakes I did. Do it this way, do this, do that. And when we're kids, for some reason, we don't want to listen, especially if the people that are telling us aren't wild successes, That's reasonable, It's reasonable to not just take people's word for it. But I don't want to go into specifics and who I was talking about, but it's just people who are younger than me who are in really excellent situations that I could only dream of being in at that age. No debt for the most part, like no student debt, which is huge because I have a ton of it. No credit card debt, able to save money. That's a rare thing as somebody who is, in their 20s, especially early 20s. And I mean, this isn't just about one person. It's about multiple people. I always do this thing where I just know the answer. I know what this person should be doing, with their time. And unfortunately, people, they don't really believe you or want to listen to you if you haven't done the thing that you're telling them to do, which again is reasonable. I fully am on board with that line of thinking, However, now that I'm on the other side of it, right, instead of people who are older telling me when I'm young what I should be doing and I'm not listening, now that I'm on the other side of it and I've learned so much and I've had all of these life experiences that I think allowed me the luxury, right, of being able to experiment and being able to try new things and doing some things that might be considered like risky, maybe financially or, whatever. I'm just not picking a solid path. I'm not saying that that's the best thing to do is to not pick something and to try to do everything. I'm not saying that's the way to go. If you are trying to become a master of something or a wild success in anything, I think it does probably help if you can pick one thing and just get really good at that thing. Because if you're really good at it, then people will want to pay you for it. I think that's pretty much guaranteed. Now, the problem, though, is being too logical or rational or whatever word it is that makes sense here. The problem with that is that sometimes people are telling you things that are true based on their experience or something that they've learned from other people who have done it, and that's really valuable information. And I don't know if I just want to get, cut right to the chase. I think that when you're young, if you're young right now, you don't know what you want to do. You don't know if you want to work a W-2 job. Maybe you're already in a W-2 job and maybe it's what you went to school for. And you're just like you're not digging it, It's okay. Probably most people don't love their jobs, But if the stakes are really low, like you don't have student loans, you don't have credit card debt, all your bills are really low, you're able to save money, like thousands of dollars in money. Why does that sound weird? If you're able to save thousands of dollars, right? Money is redundant. You don't have to say money after dollars, right? If you're able to save thousands of dollars, if you don't have any children, if you basically anything that ties you to a location or a house or a job or anything like that, if there's nothing that's tying you down, my advice would be specifically don't buy a place that is like your dream home, right? Don't start with that. Even if you can have it, right? Don't start with that. And the reason I say that is because it's going to be cool, right? You'll have basically your dream home. Maybe you don't live there forever, but still it's kind of an idealized house or property or whatever, if that's going to be your primary residence. Because what you're doing is you are, especially if you're in a job that maybe you don't want to be in, when you get a place that is awesome and big and expensive, it ties you to that job because now you have a mortgage and now you have to have a steady income. You have to, right? Because if you can't pay for your mortgage, you lose the house. If you can't pay for it, they take it from you. So that necessitates a steady job, right? And that will shackle you to those things. It'll trap you, And I think that we look at other people around us as models, especially adults, right? We look at the adults as models and we look at what they have. Maybe they have some land, they have a big house. But if you look at the reason why they have those things, not only did they work for it and save up the amount of money they needed or whatever, but also they kind of had to have that, right? So especially if they have multiple kids, 3, 4 kids or whatever, 5 kids, 6 kids, they have that big house, not necessarily so they can show off to people, but because they have kids and the kids need room. They have a family that needs the room. And so you have a big house because you had kids when you were young and those kids needed a place to live. They needed space. And so you get the big house with all the, the 6 bedrooms or whatever, because you had to have that, right? Because you decided to have a kid when you were young, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying it was out of necessity. Now, what else does that necessitate, right? Well, you had the kids when you were young. You had to get the big house with a big mortgage payment. Well, now you have to have the job, right? The steady W-2 job. And maybe you can do well in that, Maybe that's the thing for you. But if it's not for you and you want to do something different with your life, then having the kids early means that you have to have a bigger place and maybe even a bigger place as you have more kids, right? You have to have bigger vehicles so you can fit the whole family, and that's more money. And because you have these bigger expenses now, and kids are expensive in general, not to mention, right? It costs a lot of money to put kids through school, especially if they're in any sports or any clubs or any kind of things that cost money. And food, I don't know about y'all, but when I was a kid growing up, I ate like a freaking horse. Like a horse. I still kind of do, but at least I'm paying for it myself. But man, I don't know how my parents ever had any food in the house because I just vacuumed that shit up. Fucking Tasmanian deviled that shit. Just But so anyway, yeah. So now they have to have that steady job that pays decent money and you have benefits, you have health insurance, all that. So you shackle yourself to that, right? So to me, it doesn't make sense that if you don't have the kids, you don't have debt, you don't have a bunch of bills, why would you start with that house? That the only reason to have that house or that big vehicle or whatever is so you can fit all the people in it, right? So for me, what makes more sense is buying a duplex or something, right? Buy a duplex. This is not a new concept. This is called house hacking. This is a thing that's everybody's heard of, right? But I'm just trying to give you a real world scenario of why or like when this would be a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do for anybody, but especially if you haven't racked up a bunch of debt or have kids or anything like that. The stakes are low because it's just you or you and your spouse or you and your significant other, partner, whatever you want to call it. First place you buy, you should go get something like, let's just say, for instance, a duplex. If it's your primary residence, then, and if you can save the money, then whatever, do that. But if you want to put down less money, you can do like a FHA loan, or, first-time home buyer stuff. You can get credits or assistance or whatever. You can do as low as like a 3% conventional mortgage. That could be your first place, and you can live comfortably. You can do whatever you want to because you own it. You get all the benefits of that, having that as an investment. So you get all the tax benefits, you get the write-offs, you get depreciation, all the good stuff, but it also goes up in value. It's a real asset, right? Goes up in value over time. So that could be part of your retirement plan, because at some point, 30, 40 years down the line, it's going to be worth way more than it's worth now. You can rent out the other half of it and potentially cover the mortgage just by renting out the other half, So now you have no living expenses, but you own the place you live in. You can do whatever you want to it. You don't have to start in a rental. However, you could also start in a rental, get something that's a 1-bedroom, whatever. You don't need a whole lot to start. Get yourself a 1-bedroom. I don't know what they go for. It depends on where you are in the country, of course, but let's just call it $1,000 for a 1-bedroom, and that's not cheap, but I'm just saying that's whatever. It's probably a decent place for $1,000. You can do that, and you can buy a single family home or a condo or whatever and not even live there. Potentially, if it's not crazy expensive, you could put down the 20% and not have the PMI, or you could go get you a 10% down or 5% down or whatever. Yeah, keep your expenses down, your investment down, and Airbnb that thing. And you can actually make money. You can make more money than what the mortgage costs, but you still get the benefit of owning an investment place. Like I said, the taxes and all that stuff. But in addition to that, you also have cash flow, which is kind of rare, I think, to really like make any significant money monthly on an investment place, because generally, like if you rent it out with a 12-month lease or whatever, you might make $100 or $200 a month at the most. And if there's ever anything that needs to be fixed on it, then that money just goes, whatever extra you're making goes straight to that repair or whatever. You can also midterm it, right? So like I was talking about in a previous video, you could rent it out to like traveling nurses or anybody that travels and needs a shorter term lease term. And because it's a shorter term, they pay more per month. So you might make double, or 1.5 times or 2 times or even 2.5 times, just, depending on the property, proximity to wherever it is the person works, whatever, proximity to cool, attractions. And the market kind of dictates that. But you can make money on top of having the investment, And if you make enough, it could pay for your rental that you're living in, So you are living with no living expenses, no housing expenses, and it might cover your cars too. And you duplicate that, and then you duplicate that, and then you duplicate that, or whatever, or take some money. By the time, if you're in your early 20s, by the time you're my age, which I'm 37, by the time you're my age, if you're doing these things, you're going to be absolutely financially free. Absolutely. And you can choose whatever you want to do, wherever you want to spend your time, whatever you want to spend your time on. You're absolutely free to do that, I don't know. I could go on. I could go on and on about this. I'll probably talk about it again. More advantages of getting invested in real estate, as I think of them. Maybe I need to start writing stuff down just so I don't forget, because then I talk for 20, 25 minutes and I have to cut it all out because it's a bunch of tangents as I'm working through it in my brain and going from my brain to my lips. Sometimes I forget what I'm talking about. Anyway, man, just take the advice sometimes, especially if the people know what they're talking about. So you don't have to struggle through. You don't have to take the traditional path. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. And I think that's one of the keys to happiness. Dictating your own life, dictating your own schedule, spending time on things you choose, that's where it's at. For me, all right? I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I did tell you, but I'm not really telling you to do it. I'm just giving you something to think about. But don't be scared of it either, because the stakes are a lot lower than you think they are. There's really not a lot of big consequences as long as you have good intentions. And if you fail, whatever, man, people fail. We're all going to be dead at some point. So take some risks, especially if it's you trying to better yourself, because the only way that it's going to happen, the only way it's going to work is if you try. That's the only way. So just try. If you fail, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Sometimes people fail and they figure it out. I don't know. I've been rambling on now, but I am going to go, and I need to go quickly edit this together and throw it online, and maybe one person may watch it and be like, damn, I like that. I'm going to do something. And then you can tell me about it, and I'll be like, yeah. If it doesn't work out, it's not my fault. But yeah, that's sick. Anyway, bye.